big dumb dog. Nope. That thing is there. There's the big dumb dog right there. Look, see the camera? Look at the camera right there. See that? That's you looking in the camera. That's you looking in the camera. Do it again. Do it again. Right there. Yeah. That's you looking in the camera. You want to get on this action? Okay. Oh, you big doofus. Okay, hey everybody. Welcome. Used to have a problem. Episode 167. Holy crap, we're 167 episodes, dude. That's nuts. You've been here for what? Like a quarter of them so far? So we've got runs on banks in China. We've got what else are right in there? I totally forget. Housing market continuing to collapse. Few days until we get our date of record for GME. The euro is almost back to where it was in 2002 when I was living in Austria. It was 1-to-1, which is pretty crazy. We're almost there again. It might be a good time to, get our winnings lit up on euros and get a little boost from that. What else? Russia's about to cut off Europe from natural gas, which means prices on natural gas are probably going to skyrocket, especially in Europe. Diesel prices are going to continue to be really high because you need natural gas to pull out the sulfur from diesel to make it usable. So look for more weird things. The price of fuel may keep coming down except for diesel, be my guess. And a lot of the natural gas power plants in Europe are probably going to be switching to coal. Because suddenly coal is a cheaper alternative to natural gas, which is something new for the last decade. And, Chakuseki, Houston, please release the NFT we discussed on GameStop Marketplace. Just your intro repeating forever. Oh, yeah. Should probably figure out how to do that. How do I mint a MPEG? Or a WAV file? Yeah, we'll figure that out, Chakuseki. Okay, so what we got from you guys? Wait, before we do that, this repeating forever. And it is off. I'm not going to repeat. Okay, Jonathan, 18 hours till NASA releases images from the James Webb Telescope. I'm excited. What do you want to see? I want to see planets. That's what I want to see. I want to see a star blocked out, and we'll see planets resolved. Multiple ones. Ones we can use a spectrometer to measure what's in their atmosphere and figure out what type of stuff is there. That's what I want to see. I want to see lots and lots and lots of planets. I'm hoping that they did that with their first light image. Happy birthday, Dylan Francis. Oh, he came to play Seattle, and I seriously thought about wearing a long sleeve shirt and trying to get in. Just don't you know who I am? And then hanging out backstage. 'Cause apparently we're the same height. He's got a little more widow peak than I do, but that's pretty much it. He's younger. He's covered in tattoos. That's why I have to wear a long sleeve shirt. Okay. Can we get James Woods telescope? Wait, Scott Pollen releasing today at 5 p.m.? I thought it was tomorrow. I thought it was noon tomorrow. Well, if I'll take it today, that'd be in, 30 minutes? All right, let's see what's happening. Rickroll video. 7 cents. Hello, Houston. Just read some DD on Superstonk that we can keep buying GME up to the 21st and still get the dividend. I wouldn't trust that. I wouldn't trust. Date of record usually means anyone who has it in their account on that day is reported to their brokerage, and the shares will be reserved for them. So that is probably what I would count on. I wouldn't count on buying up to the 21st and getting shares for that. Okay. Boom. Okay. Fried taters in Vermont? What? Alright. Oh, brother's wedding. Any cool geologic facts in Vermont? Vermont is the granite state. Or is that New Hampshire's granite state? Anyway, there's a lot of granite there. Go visit that abandoned Air Force radar station everyone keeps sending me coordinates to. That's what you should do if you're in Vermont. And visit my friend Jeffrey Sawaki's brewery. Oh, heck, what's his brewery called? One sec. I gotta look it up because... I can't spell. There you go. Jeffrey Sawaki. His brewery is called... where are you? Where? Crap. Whirligig Brewing. There we go. That's what it was. So Jeffrey broke my finger in 6th grade. I was playing goalie in PE, and I got the ball, and then he flew through the air, kicked me in the hand, and shattered this knuckle. But anyway, go to his brewery. Enjoy his brewery. He's a nice dude. Other than the fact he broke my finger in 6th grade. Whirligig Brewing. It's very tasty if you drink stuff. Blay8319. Thanks for all you do, Houston. What do you know about family offices, and how should someone begin to look into them? I mean, family offices are basically hedge funds that don't have to report anything because they're designed for essentially one person in their family. So they don't have to report holdings, they don't have to report margin, they don't have to report anything to anybody, and they get away with a lot. There's $7.7 trillion held in family offices, and they're doing things just like hedge funds, only we have no idea what their plays are. Archegos is one of those family offices, and when they blew up, that's $30 billion that went for everybody. I mean, I would look at probably a tax attorney or something like that to set one up if that's what you're looking to do. But yeah, I assume you do some sort of filing with the SEC and the IRS. Say, I'm a family office. Doink! And then you have the magical powers of not having to report your 13Fs or anything like that. So that's where I would start. Dog Toggler. The claim was if you buy a share in the 19th, the right to the divvy goes with it. Otherwise, who gets it? The seller. Sell your shares full price. Still get it 3 days. Dog Toggler. Yes, the seller would get the shares because they were holding it on the 18th. You would not get it. So if someone was holding shares on the 18th and then sold them on the 19th, they would still get the dividend shares. The buyer would not get them. So that's how that would work. Guitar stuff. Houston, if the market crashed tomorrow, how long would it take for forced liquidations? 2 days, maybe? The margin call would go out. They would fail the margin call. They'd be in default, and then forced liquidations would likely begin. So 2 days, more or less, be my guess. It's forced liquidation with bathroom. Luke Alexander, Houston, how do you see the Twitter lawsuit with Elon going? Do you think he has a case against them? Elon is going to lose that case so badly, and he's going to end up paying way more than $1 billion. They may make him pay almost the full amount, and he might not get Twitter out of it. It's going to be that bad. Elon is in a really bad spot. He's like, I want to buy Twitter, and Twitter's like, no. He said, I want to buy Twitter. He said, no, I'm gonna take it over anyway. And they're like, we're gonna make a poison pill. And eventually, they're like, you know what? Be fine. You can buy us. Just sign this document. And he's like, okay. And you sign that document. And that document said, I am buying Twitter. I am waiving all due diligence. And I can't, if I pull out, I have to have a really, really, really good reason to pull out, and it must be outlined in this document as that reason. And the reason why he's terminating the contract is not any of the reasons listed in that contract, and he's going to be paying a fortune. He waived due diligence. His complaint is that they misrepresented how many bots they have on their platform, but they never had to represent how many bots they had on their platform. Because he waived due diligence. He basically went to the car dealership, and he's like, I'm buying that car. And they're like, sweet. No, more like this. He's like, I want to buy a car. And they're like, no, you can't have this car. I'm going to buy your car anyway. They're like, no, you can't. And eventually, like, fine. You can buy this car, but you're not allowed to do any inspection of it at all. You have to give us the money. And if you pull out, you still owe us $1 kajillion. And he was like, totally. And so he said he's buying the car, and then he found out the car has no engine. And he's like, hey, they never told me I had no engine. And they're like, you waived due diligence, you dummy. Elon's lawyers, I think, are like Better Call Saul level lawyers. Lionel Hutz or something. He's going to get his clock cleaned by Twitter. And it's going to cost him a fortune. And he's lost like $100 billion in his net worth since he made this offer on Twitter. So he didn't even get Twitter and still lost $100 billion on top of it. Twitter may become one of the largest stockholders in Tesla when this is over. So Twitter would be a hot stock if that were the case. Elon may have to give a whole bunch of Tesla stock to Twitter just to make this all go away. He's hosed. He is so screwed. And yeah, he's not going to do well at all. The crystal ball is shining really bright on this one, that Elon Musk is absolutely effed in the A. So, yeah. Illinois gaming. How is MOAS looking? Likely cautious, or I don't know. I mean, I think we're on pace. I was expecting to see share recalls start to go out this week. The price didn't really do much. It was kind of meh today for GME. I'm curious to see where it goes. I'm very curious. Because we've not been seeing a buying frenzy like I thought. Okay. If rumors are true, the GME Marketplace goes live on what? Thursday? Maybe the 14th? Yeah, Thursday. So that's something to look forward to. Get a little FOMO going into the weekend. Sounds good to me. Jonathan, Comcast sucks. Comcast does suck. Comcast, give me some real internet, man. At least it's not dying today. Friday was just a nightmare. Ugh. Okay. Wheat Wild over under for technical issues today. Fingers crossed. Knock on particle board. Andrew Stewart, Houston, FTDs or FTRs mean anything at this point? FTRs, failure to returns? Failure to return, that is a TA term. I don't think that applies to anything. But FTDs should matter, but the swap loophole makes them not matter. All it would take is the SEC to say, yeah, no more swaps. And then the entire market would freak out because this entire market is built upon like taking, I don't know, $200 trillion in debt and just passing it around like a game of musical chairs or hot potato, and only the music never stops. And the SEC at any moment could just be like, music stop. And anyone holding any of that debt is absolutely screwed. Almost as screwed as Elon with Twitter lawsuit. But I don't see them doing that anytime soon. I think they know that the entire world global free market will be over at that moment. So, yeah. Okay. Number letters, you call it the meme party after the Boston Tea Party. But instead of dumping tea, it's buying shares. Works for me. Scott Pollen. Ooh, got coordinates right off the bat here. We're going... Where's that? East Coast? Middle of the Atlantic? Where are we going? Where are we going? Sure, bam, bam. Alright, gotta delete that and turn it into a comma. Oh, gotta turn that on. Gotta go... There we go. Oh, Chicago. We're in Chicago. We're going to this street. We're going to Marquette Building or something. Oh, we're in a big corporate art. There's like 9,000 of these things in every city in the world. There's also one of these buildings in every city of the world too. Ours used to be called the Sea First Tower. I can't remember what it's called now. They call it the box the Space Needle came in. But here we go. We are underneath the giblets of this organic-looking metal sculpture. I could take you to Seattle's version. How about that? I'll take you to Seattle's version. I think we have one in the sculpture park. I gotta exit here. Okay, zoom out. Zoom out, zoom out, zoom out, zoom out, zoom out. Click back to north. I think we had one of those in like Poland the other day when I was doing GeoGuessr. Okay, so this used to be outside one of the buildings. Alright, sculpture park. Here we go. Where are you, big red blobby thing? You are in here, I thought. Or down there. No, I think you're in here. Where are the sculptures? All the sculptures are missing. There we go. See, there's ours. I knew it was there. There's our red blobby thing. And then I can take you to our version of that black tower. Oops. Nope. 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 Dang it. Come on. Go. No. Ah. Let's open up. Zoom out. What's wrong with you? Zoom. Exit. There we go. No. Exit. Exit. Google Earth is definitely trying to piss me off here. Okay. Our version of Pike, Pine, Retail Corridor, First Hill, Central Business District. Where's our giant black building that looked like the Space Needle came in it? Okay, that one there. That one there. I need to get myself north. I can't tell where I am unless I'm facing north. Day triangle. And that's Old Washington Mutual Tower. It is on that block, I believe. See station? Safeco Plaza, is that it? Boink. Yeah, this is our version. Right there. Boom. Sim's got the Chicago one's only 2 of these things high. Ours is 3, so you know, we're better. Anyway. You guys are bored out of your minds now. Okay. Alright. Number letters. Do you think we'll eventually go to war over Antarctica? No. Well, there are tons of metals in Antarctica, but it's just such a pain in the ass to do any work there that it's not worth it to anybody to like do that stuff. So they're not going to go there for that. They'll want to, but international treaty is worth more. Okay. GME running after hours? Man. What's happening? What's happening? Let's clickety-clack. GME, yeah, it's running. We're up 1% after hours. Not too shabby. Take that. Got some calls for Friday, so let's run like $10 and make me happy. Scott Pollen exploring the GameStop NFT marketplace right now. The user interface is sleek and NFTs are priced in loop ring. All right. Oh, in Ethereum. Okay. Okay. Cool. Oh, and there's the reset. Oh, got super chat. Snowboard 1201. GameStop NFT Marketplace went live today. Oh, went live 30 minutes ago. That's early. Okay. NFT Marketplace is live. That's why it's running. Kick ass. All right. There we have it. Now we got the whole week to run on the GameStop Marketplace going live. People are going to start using it. They're going to start figuring it out. I wonder, like, are there full-on name brand video games you can buy on there yet? Let's, How are the players? Let's explore. Oh, there are all sorts of NFTs available. Okay. Do we have games? Do we have games? Oh, you guys can't see what I'm doing because I'm doing that thing where you can't see what I'm doing. Burp. Burp. Turn you off. Okay. So, okay. We got a whole bunch of NFTs there. What I'm looking for is, I want to know if I can buy, like, Call of Duty or something yet. This is collections, individual NFTs. Okay. Got a cork dong. We got worm eyeball people. We've got someone who looks like they're from Metalocalypse. Banana Triceratops. More Metalocalypse characters. Well, alright. We've got a lot of running Game Boys. And a banana with a Lego cap. Alright. Well, it's live. It's going. Cool. 53,000 NFTs found. Okay. Alright. 53,000 collections. The 236 collections for the 53,000 NFTs. Groovy. Alright. Well, there you go. It's up. It's live. I'm hoping we'll start to expand and start to see games and stuff and the other big things here. You know, pictures are baby steps. We're looking for the next thing. Next big thing. Which is useful NFTs. Also, I'm looking at my shirt, and this is like the Seinfeld episode. Like, was it the first episode of Seinfeld ever where the button is in the wrong spot? The button is in the wrong spot on this shirt, and it's driving me up the wall. It needs to be like an inch higher, and everything will be better. Okay. Where was I? I left off at... Sorry, reset on me. Well, there's Howler saying NFT Marketplace is live. Oh, there you go. Okay. Okay. All right. Michael Steegs, Houston, can you please again talk about what you think is going to happen on 7/19 and after 7/21? Price up or down? My guess is between 7/19 and 7/21, the overall price will probably get pushed down. You'll probably have folks that collected their dividend and are looking to sell, or have collected the date of record for the dividend. And 7/22, the price should drop by 75% or somewhere around there. But then we'll start to get the defaults on deliveries, and that will probably start causing squeezes. So we'll start to see weeks later the price go up, kind of the way that it did for Tesla and Apple and Overstock. Is that when there's defaults on these synthetic shares, they're going to be forced to buy and close positions. They have to buy and buy and buy and buy and buy and buy and buy because they got to pick up 4 shares to make up for the one that they had shorted sometime in the previous 5 years. So, you know, and everyone's saying that if there's a whole bunch of defaults and nothing is done about it, this would give Ryan Cohen the ability to turn his NFT GameStop marketplace into a a way to also trade stocks, because why not? You got the technology, the blockchain technology to do it. Might as well do it, right? Right. And I'm just a sucker for coordinates in general. So Mike's got coordinates for me, and we're gonna go there. We're gonna go wherever Mike tells me to go. All right. We're looking at blue sky all of a sudden. I don't know how that happened. Where are we? Looking here. That's a keyboard? What? That looks like a keyboard. That's a house or a hotel or something. It's pretty fancy. Is it a castle? Can I go there in person? No, I cannot. But that looks very fancy. It looks like it's under construction. Where am I? Like Missouri? I am in... Yeah, I am in Missouri. Just outside of Branson. Between Branson and... what is this? Springfield? Alright. Ozarks. Cool. That's a weird castle out in the middle of nowhere in Missouri. With a roof that looks like a keyboard. Those must be solar panels, I guess. Skylights. That is huge. That's a big, giant house. I mean, if I'm going to have a house this big, I would hopefully clean up the car farm or whatever all this detritus is. This barn has solar panels too. Nice. Okay. All right. The GameStop NFT Marketplace is going to obliterate OpenSea. Super easy to use. Yes, Scott Pollen. I think it will. I mean, also, if you don't have to pay huge transaction fees, huge minting fees, it's going to do real well. Okay. Stonkonator sent you a bunch of my new NFT creations. Well, thank you. I'll take a look. I'm awesome. Thank you. JPEG21 new CPI report expected to be highly elevated. Does that mean we're looking at 9% perhaps? I would believe another 8% for sure. But higher than that is probably more realistic than what we've seen. Justin, Kappa TV, hi Houston, everyone is supposed to get more shares with GME stock split, not payment in lieu. Yes. You're going to get shares. Unless you happen to be a foreign investor in something like eToro. Apparently, if you are outside the U.S. and you're in some systems, eToro is one of them, you're going to be getting a cash equivalent instead of the shares themselves. So you may want to talk to your broker about that. But if you're just in a normal brokerage in the U.S. or Canada, you are going to get your shares. Okay. Gmail Marketplace launch. Chris Owens, happy birthday. Please mark episode 163 public or unhide it. I just haven't gone through. That one I got a little spicy. I had some trolls that made me a little angry, and I took it down with the intention of editing some portions out just to get the anger out of there, and I haven't done that part yet. So, yeah. Okay. This is legal says, can you send a shout out to Lefty Lorraine and the pups Zoe and Ella for me, please? Lefty Lorraine, Zoe and Ella, a shout out. There you go. Flight Guy 99, are we going to see slow melt or sudden drop in the market? I think they're trying desperately to do a slow melt. But, you know, the way these algorithms run, you get one certain thing falling and it's just like butterfly wings, chaos theory style, can trigger huge drops across all sorts of stuff, and we'll see like stop and tradings. I would say that's not a zero possibility. It could be closer to a possibility of one. The market has to drop a lot more. soon as the reports come out, like housing prices have dropped significantly, that cars are being repoed like crazy, that mortgages are useless, that adjustable rate mortgages are being reset and people can't afford, and everyone's going bankrupt, rental prices dropping, vacations put on hold. That stuff is all coming, and there's a lot more bad news on the way. More bad news than good news, that's for sure. So it's going to melt, and then probably have a colossal drop at some point. Fast like a bear fitness, they're about to get Lindsey Graham. Get his ass. Yeah, apparently they subpoenaed him. Steve Bannon's lawyers basically admitted that Steve Bannon lied under oath, so he's screwed. I think we're gonna see the Justice Department make a whole bunch of arrests here for what happened on 1/6 of elected officials and aides to the president, and we'll see about Trump himself, whether that happens. But they've had so many reasons to indict Trump, and they haven't done it yet. But they keep getting his underlings. But his underlings only do what they're told. So we'll see where that goes. Aaron T. Houston, a longtime viewer from Denmark here. What are your thoughts on permaculture, and what role do you think it has for buying us more time before we start seeing serious global food shortages? Okay. All right. So these are sort of I'm trying to figure what's the tribe. So permaculture is sort of like you use the ecosystem to sort of become I don't know if it's like a food forest or whatever. There's a tribe on the foothill of Kenya. That their entire forest, is it Maasai? No, I don't think it's the Maasai. I think it's a different tribe that's on the foothill of either Mount Kenya or Kilimanjaro. Oh shoot, what is? Sorry, I'm doing my internet searches here. But basically, you have a forest, canopy, under bushes, stuff like that, and they manage the forest as if it's a farm. They've been doing this for thousands of years, where you got the trees bear fruits, the ground cover also bears like berries and things, and you can make tea out of the leaves, or you make edible leaves, and so then it looks like a forest, but really it's been purposely cultured to be this multi-level ecosystem. It's a little different than the permaculture you might get in Western communities, which look much more like gardens. This is it. Some Buru tribe. Here we go. Go to Google Earth. This is the one I'm looking for. And of course, they don't have a picture of it. God dang it. Samburu tribe, Kenya forest. Okay. Let's do maybe images. Yeah, so this is basically their farm. It's a forest. And every single solitary plant in this forest serves some sort of food purpose. It is really cool how they do it. Like every tree, shrub, everything. So it looks like a forest, but really it's purposely made specifically to feed the people of the region. And this is like the best permaculture you'll ever get. It's a lot different than like permaculture where you might have people's yards turned into gardens like this that serve specific purposes. It's more just like looks like a natural forest. The thing about permaculture is that it requires a lot of work of the homeowner. And the whole reason grocery stores exist is because a lot of people don't want to farm. I'm one of them. I don't want to farm. I want to eat everything that's farmed, but I don't want to do the work myself. I have other things I want to do. So, these home gardens are great for those who want to do them, and it can alleviate a lot of the food pressure from commercial farms that are going to be going through some serious issues in the near future. But we all know someone who has a giant garden like this, edible garden like this, that grows all their own lettuce and corn and snap peas and broccoli and everything else. My mom used to make us do this when I was a kid. We had acres of land. We cleared out a huge chunk of the forest, and she built this gigantic edible garden that, as a 7-year-old, I worked as a slave tending to. And it was wonderful to be like, oh, we're making a salad. Go to the garden, get a cabbage, lettuce, carrots, snap peas, or whatever, and go out there and pluck them all, and then boom, you got your salad for free. For child labor. But it's a lot of work. You got to clear the land. You got to tend to it. You got to take care of the weeds. It's a it can become close to a full-time job to feed yourself this way. But I do think that it will have an impact on alleviating some of the pressures of these commercial farms that are going to be going through some interesting trouble as soils begin to deplete, as climate change makes things too wet or too dry or too hot, as the global supply chain makes it so that 30% of the grains can't make it export out of Russia and Ukraine. It's going to be important. Make sure you have a neighbor that you can mooch off of at least, right? Oh, you're finding a fly? Get that fly, monkey. Get it, monkey. Oh, I just went out the door. You missed your chance, bud. Vern. Oh, it's an N. Vern. That was an M. Do you have an opinion on University of Phoenix? I've heard a lot of up and down about it. They were one of the for-profit universities that got in trouble in the early 2000s for basically scamming people, just accepting anyone, charging them a boatload in FAFSA money, and then them not necessarily graduating but still owing tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars. The Art Institute, who I worked for, had gotten in trouble for that, and they did a huge Congress did a huge sort of regulation on these for-profit colleges where they had to graduate a certain percentage of their students, and they had to guarantee that 95% of them got a job in their field of study within 6 months of graduating, which it had to be a certain level of pay as well, which makes sense for some things. Like, if you're going to school for computer science and you get a job in computer science, that's one thing. But if you're going to school for like film, and where it's a gig economy work, you weren't necessarily hired on at a salary position somewhere, but you're doing job to job, filming a commercial here, a TV show there, an industrial video here, and you're not a permanent employee anywhere, that can really hurt that program's existence. But hopefully University of Phoenix has turned it around, and they aren't like Full Sail University or one of the other kind of diploma mill ones out there. But I would look into a specific program and see how that works. But so many other full-fledged universities that have like on-ground instruction, they also offer online classes, and oftentimes cheaper. So I'll look into those too. University of North Dakota is awesome. Purdue does a great one. Harvard does a great one. Who else? Who must think of a monkey? Arizona State in northern Arizona both do great online programs. So I can look into those as well. Adventures with Hunter. I have an idea for an outdoor TV show. Any direction would be appreciated. I have no experience in industry whatsoever. Welcome to where I was 10 years ago. Proof of concept. What I did is I did a Kickstarter, raised money, made a proof of concept. And the Kickstarter did two things. One, it showed to any prospective buyer that people were interested enough that they were willing to donate way too much money to me. And two, it showed what I could do, not really having any previous experience making a show. Like, hey, oh my gosh, this guy knew what he was doing and he managed to make a show. And those are things that go-getterness, I think, is what was appreciated by the production companies and stuff I went to. So I would do something like that. Raise a little funds. I would do it differently. In 2013, when I did my Kickstarter originally, you couldn't monetize YouTube. And had YouTube had a monetization like back then, I would have foregoed filming a pilot for my show, and I would have just gone straight to mini episodes on YouTube and done that with the money I raised, and done 10 episodes of something, and then sought to be monetized after that. That probably would have been the best way to go. So I would definitely look into that. But it does cost money to do it well and do it right, do it professionally. Got to make sure you have the right sound and right cameras and drones and all that stuff. So, and when you have a product you can show to people, go to Real Screen or Banff, or there's the sci-fi, the Science Television Conference. That's held in like a different city every year. But I would do something like that. I would just pay the money to go to one of those and just force your way in and be like, this is my thing. Take a look at it. Make my TV show. That's what worked. Because after like 2 years of like trying to call people and send emails that never got a response because they go to phone numbers that no one answers and emails no one responds to, that would be where I would look. Just pay the money. It might be $2,000 to $5,000 to go one of these things, but just pay it. Go get in front of the people and state your case. Hopefully they listen. So that's what I suggest. Adventures with Hunter. Jone de Jesus, Houston. If I buy Gmae after record date, does that mean I won't get the dividend? My share price will be reduced on the divi distribution date. Yes. That's exactly what it means. So if you buy a share on the 19th or 20th or 21st, you're going to be paying, say $130 for that share, right? And then all of a sudden that share is going to be worth $20 or $40 on the 22nd. So I wouldn't buy then. I'd buy before the 18th so you can get that data record in there. Victoras Brasas, Houston, can you share your workout routine? Big fan from Lithuania. I mean, I'm not in much of a routine yet, but if I were to go back to like when I was in shape, basically I just legs and abs, upper body and abs, legs and abs, upper body and abs, legs and abs, upper body and abs. And I usually shoot for 5 or 6 days a week. And that way I could give like half of my body a rest. My abs never really get too sore, so I can keep doing sit-ups and things like that. But okay, arms day. Do warm up on rowing machine. Go and stretch because I am completely inflexible. My upper body is very flexible. I can clap my hands together behind my back and stuff. But my legs are not. Like my hamstrings are built for a toddler. They just do not stretch, and I cannot, for save my life, touch my toes, and I have to work so hard on it. So I stretch, 10, 20 minutes of stretching, and then I usually go. So my gym has, machines on one side, free weights on the other, and I usually start out with a lat pull down machine, because doing lat pull downs is the best way to be shaped like a triangle. So, and my goal is, the last time I was strong, I could max that machine out. I think I maxed out at like 260 pounds, which is more than I weighed. So it was really like, you have to jump up, pull down as hard as you can, slip your legs under the knee pads, and then start going. And right now I'm doing like 130, 140. So I have a ways to go. So I'm trying to up that every time I go by 5 or 10 pounds. And basically, make the goal like 10 per set, and do 3 to 5 sets of everything. I do try if I'm pulling down, pull down fast, ease back slowly, pull down fast, ease back slowly, because it not only builds the muscles for acceleration, but the muscles for deceleration, which is a great way to avoid muscle injuries. And you want to try and develop equally both sides. Like if you're doing leg stuff, you want to develop your hamstrings as much as your quads. Because if your quads are more developed than your hamstrings, when you go for a run or whatever, that's how you pull a hamstring. A lot of the sprinters in the Olympics, they pull hamstrings because their quads are so just ungodly huge that their decelerator muscles, their hamstrings can't keep up, and boing. So do the lat pull down. I'll also go, like right now, because I'm still in weak phase, I don't necessarily worry about the free weights with bench presses. I'll just do the machines for now, because I've got a lot of building to do. But I'll do chest presses, overhead presses. My overhead press, so my goal with overhead press back last time I was buff in 2016 was I wanted to be able to press my girlfriend at the time over my head like the Ultimate Warrior. That was basically that was my goal. So take her 130 pounds and go, and I did get there eventually. My old roommate could press like 300 pounds over his head. It was absolutely insane. And he could like put girls in each hand and just like a freak. But that was just he didn't even go to the gym. That was just naturally what a freaky monster he was. I'll do like seated rowing with resistance. Sometimes with the clasp bar, sometimes with outer bars to work kind of the upper pecs. What's this muscle? The one's under the armpit. I think it's part of the pec still, but it works the biceps as well. I love what's the name of that machine, Monkey? The one with the cables on either side. You like do pull-ups in the middle. I can't remember the name of it. But I do a cycle where I take those cables and I do chest presses with that. And then I cross my arms and I pull across while the cables are high. I do the same when they're low. And then I do, it's not vice grip is when you're raising with a dumbbell, but this is pulling down, and I can't quite remember what it's called. I don't know, like flapping your wings like a bird, but with resistance. And then I love doing curls with that machine as well, because if you have a dumbbell and you're curling, when you get to about here, you're not doing any work anymore. But with a cable machine, you do the full curl, and you get resistance like the entire way as you're making any movement. And then you can do things like you can curl up into a press and get resistance the entire way. And that stuff will just kick your ass so hard. And seated curls with a dumbbell also will show you just how weak you are. Where you have the pads brace the elbows and you have a dumbbell that you're curling with. That will just show you like how undeveloped one side of your body is compared to the other. So like when I was playing baseball, you could measure, and like my chest on my right side was probably an inch or 2 inches thicker than the chest on my left side because of how much more work my right side was doing from throwing all the time. And when you do those curls, it was like the right side could always lift everything, the left side couldn't do anything. But I do like vice raises as well. That one's always humbling because you're like, I could do like 20 pounds, and you can't. You go back down to 10. And then I'll take the same weight and I'll do the sort of like almost like butterflies. You lift and you're working the rotator cuff, and that works a lot. And then I do like the rotator cuff machine as well. And my right side, because of pitching, I can max that sucker out even now. What else did I do with arms? Kneeled tricep extensions. Then I will eventually get back to like free weight chest press. But right now, like, I don't need to because the machines are plenty heavy for me at the moment. And then legs, I keep legs simple. Calf raises, squats, leg extensions, hamstring curls. What else did I do? This is the main one. Oh, lunges. Lots and lots of lunges. Put a 45-pound bar on your shoulders and just lunge and just keep going. Like try to do like a football field's worth if you can. That will make everything burn like crazy. And then abs, I like the incline sit up thing. Hook your legs in and you're at a steep angle. I usually do 10 straight and then 10 bent either side and then crunches, 10 crunches. And I do a cycle 3 of those until I feel like I'm going to puke. And then there's the resistance. So our old one used to be at the gym, you press your chest in this thing and just move it. But now you just keep your arms straight and you push against it and just max that sucker out until you feel like you're going to get a hernia. That's kind of where I go. And then there's the opposite where you start forward and you pull backwards to work the main back. And then also I like to put my arms in the straps and then do leg lifts, knee lifts, do it side to side. Basically do that until you feel like you're going to puke. And the goal is everything you do, you should feel like you're maxing out like crazy and you're going to hurl your guts up when you're done. And then you shake and your knees are all wobbly and you drink some water and you rest a second and then you do it all over again. And that is the best way to get freakishly strong in a short amount of time. And you may end up puking. You may end up like shitting your brains out. Sometimes you're on the toilet puking and shitting your brains out. But it just means that your body is like, I hate every second of this. And that's how you get strong. So, yeah, there you go. Hope that works. I'm up, in 10 days, I'm up 5 pounds already. So, yeah. All right. Guitar stuff. With GME now having so many extra shares, won't they just sell when we get to a certain point and kill the squeeze? Who would be they selling? Would it be the naked short sellers selling? And if so, they'd be doing naked selling. Or would it be the folks who lent shares, selling off their pool to get extra cash? That could be possible also. It would be a long-term investment, so it would be cheaper tax-wise for them to do that. But even then, retail owns so much of the float that I don't think it will matter. They'll try to sell stuff and kill squeezes all day long, but if they're selling, that means they're not buying and closing positions. So there's still squeeze potential there. Hi, big dog. Yes. You are very big, and your dome is very slappy. Yep. But I mean, that's what they've been doing. Is when we get a situation where they're forced to buy, they just dump a bunch of shares at some point. They may load up on calls, let it get to a certain level, sell those calls, dump the shares, sell those calls, buy a bunch of puts, dump the shares, and make a fortune on the back end too. Because why wouldn't you? If you got the resources to do it that way. And so that's probably what they do, or what they're going to do. Okay, where am I? Did I miss a super chat in there? I may have. Yes, only BLSP Black Death. Mainstream Media says GME released their marketplace and I can't reach the website. Oh, you can't reach it? I had it disappeared again. I think I disappeared you again. I think it's just like GME, NFT.gme or something like that. GME Marketplace. It is nft.gamestop.com. So explore. It's the beta version that's launched. But it's there. Let me click on one of these things. Let me click on... Oh, you guys can't see what I'm doing. There we go. So I'm clicking on Terminal Overdrive. And Terminal Overdrive is selling this thing for 80 cents. Which doesn't seem like very much. But there's 5,000 of them for sale. So that's, it's a way to make almost $5,000 for aphids, whatever. Doesn't look like he's sold any yet. But he's got some likes on there. What about, if we go to, I don't know, Lone Navigator. So Lone Navigator, it's got, these are 1-for-1s for sale. 50 cents here, 25 cents there. Oh, no, sorry. These are listed in Ethereum. So 0.5 Ethereum, 0.27 Ethereum. Are these on bidding systems or are these like straight up for sale? I don't know yet. If I click on you, it's buy now, so it's not a bidding system. So this is a set price at $284 US. 0.25 Ethereum. So yeah, NFT.GameStop.com. That seems to be where it is. And I think that's the super chats. Hopefully I didn't miss any more. Let me just do a scroll real quick to make sure I didn't miss any more of that. Alright, I think I got them all. Awesome. Okay. Hate to miss those. Marvin G. Houston wait for president. Okay. Le Beau Luc, Houston, you should visit Mont Saint-Hilaire in Quebec. It is a world renowned for having uber rare minerals that only have been identified at this specific location. Mont Saint-Hilaire, where are you? I'm going to look down the map. Bam, bam, bam. Oh wait, am I going to Quebec? I'm going to Quebec, okay. Here we go. Well, look at that. That looks like a cryptovolcanic structure right there. We'll say hello. Isolated hill, 440 meters high, 30 miles Montreal. Wide variety of flora and fauna. Carltonite crystal from a quarry there. Okay. Oh, you guys can't see this because you guys can't see anything. Oops. Because Chrome's still on. Turn you on. There we go. Okay. I'll say hello. He there. Okay, so it's a big old nub. Looks like a granite pluton to me. Mineral wealth. I'll say it's famous for mineral locality because of its great number of rare and exotic mineral species. Annanite, rich iron rich and biotite. Phlogopite, small number of crystals and marble xenoliths. And cyanite, siderophyllite. I've never heard of any of these things. Albitite dikes, intrusive, nephrite, cyanite, diatorite, monzonite. Pigment. Okay, so there are pegmatites there, so that would make sense. That's a granite pluton. Hornfelds. 366 distinct minerals are found there. Huh. Okay, give me the geology, man. How'd it form? Give me the geology. Where's the geology? Oh, there it is. Geology. Geography. Geology. Okay. Intrusive. Okay, so yeah. It's a pluton. Cretaceous, about 133 million years ago. So there's pegmatites. So basically this big granite, silica-rich pluton came up. It was like, I'm going to be a volcano. And they didn't make it, and then froze slowly underground for like millions of years. And as it froze slowly, it allowed all these crystals in the magma to sort of find each other and coalesce and make all sorts of crystal habits. So that's how pegmatite is formed. So pegmatite is basically granite that's cooled slowly, and all the crystals have had a chance to form inside of it. And you know, this pluton, very hard rock. Granite's hard, it's known as the rock of ages for a reason. And then the ground around it wore down over the last 130 million years, leaving behind the pluton that had been underground that froze there. That's how that sucker formed. Okay. All right. Yeah, so I guess there was a New England hotspot 130 million years ago, and this was a geologic remnant of that. There's gabbro. Gabbro is basalt that has formed sort of a pegmatite as well. So it's basalt, like oceanic rock, that slowly cooled under earth, and so you get lots of crystals. Usually the crystals are white, and so lots of them kind of spotted, like an opposite of a Dalmatian. But all right, so this is the hill looks like at a distance. That's it's an impressive hill. Dig it, crystal. Cool. So this is that guy. It's very round. It's got a lake in the middle of it. Is that a dammed lake? Or is that a natural lake? That looks like... Is that a dam or is that a house? Appreciating that lake. And one dock. I don't see you there. Alright, Le Beau Luc. Let's go. I'll go to Quebec. Meet some French girls. Go dig minerals. Okay. Houston, where are the institutional buybacks? I'm not seeing them so far. We need those recalls to happen from institutions to really rocket this price. Frontier Explosion, I seriously want to see this radar station. I love craft beer. Looks like Whirligig is in St. Jonesbury. Should definitely have a chance to check it out. But do that. And the radar station actually isn't too far south of this spot here. We need to go Vermont. It is... Oh, Shoots. Shoots, brah. No, I'm missing it. I want to say... This hill? Belvedere? Yeah, that's mine. That's not a radar station. It's in Vermont. Where are you? You guys send me this thing like once a month, and now I can't find it. You sneaky little radar station. Where are you on top of your hill? Are you closer to Lake Champlain? No, you're not close to Lake Champlain. Nope, you're mine. I'm seeing lots of mines. I'm not seeing the radar station. Buried up in the woods. Oh, well, someone will send me the coordinates later. They love sending me those coordinates. Okay. Scott Pollan, family offices register with the state they reside in. Part of why KG moved to Florida. Well, there you go. All right. Daniel Bachelor, is acid rain still a thing? I remember it being a big deal in the 80s in school, but haven't heard any more about recent memory. It's still a thing, but it's not as bad as it was in the 80s because we weren't releasing as much sulfur in the atmosphere. We're cleaning all that sulfur out by using low sulfur diesel, by having filters at coal-fired plants. That has made a big difference. So acid rain was getting really bad in the 70s and 80s, but due to the Clean Air Act, Clean Water Act, stuff like that, we've reduced the amount of sulfur being pumped into the atmosphere and turning in. So it's sulfuric acid that's formed, and sulfur combines with CO2 and water to create sulfuric acid, and that's what was eating away lots of limestone structures and bridges and statues and whatnot. The biggest thing was getting China to start filtering their coal-fired plants to filter out sulfur emissions, and that's had a big impact from creating a lot of sulfuric acid, because that sulfur would get in the atmosphere and would also be a particle in which the water molecules themselves would combine around, creating sulfuric acid, condense around, and so just like your clouds would just be acid if you were streaming from a coal-fired plant. And a lot of the solutions they did was they made the towers taller and taller and taller for the smokestacks, and so it would reach the higher atmosphere and automatically would have water condense around the particles that come out. So yeah, that's why we don't hear about much anymore, because we actually did something about it. Isn't that great when we actually do something and it helps the earth and humans? And yeah, it's great. Grant Jackson, Elon doesn't pull out. I think it's got a lot of coordinates for a Monday. Where are we going here? This is from Lucas McPhee Mills. We are at... Well, this is near Moab, isn't it? This is the runoff for, I think, a mine that's up here. It's a water treatment for the mines up here. And yeah, they're purple. I can't remember what it is that they mine here. This is near Moab, I think. Yeah, Moab's right there. Yep. But this is the mine itself. And I can't remember what it is that they mine, and then the water gets treated from the mine here, and you also have like purple colors and stuff. It might be maybe like a fluorite. Let's make that color. Can't remember. I knew it at one time, and now so Texas Gulf Sulfur, Potash Pond 1A. Okay. Texas Gulf Sulfur was who owned, they owned a lot of mines. They owned the Kidd Creek mine in Ontario, which is now owned by Xstrata, I believe. And that's the deepest hole in the Western Hemisphere and the closest point to the center of the Earth that we have, humans can get to. It's about 11,000 feet deep at this point. Pretty deep. So, yeah, so it's a potash treatment. I don't know what they're mining there, but it's pretty. Okay, William Morgan, GameStop launches NFT marketplace as it hunts for growth and digital turnaround. It's from CNBC. Howler, there's a lot of wishful thinking in this rant. It's not wishful thinking talking about how Elon's going to lose to Twitter. He is. He signed away due diligence. He literally signed a document he did not bother to read and probably didn't put in front of lawyers. Or if he did put it in front of lawyers, probably put it in front of Lionel Hutz. He's absolutely screwed on this. You can just go to Twitter and just read the contract lawyers going, oh, Elon is so screwed. Read about the, who was it that tried to take over Tiffany a couple years ago for $16 billion and then tried to back out of it, ended up having to pay $15 billion and then didn't get Tiffany? So this is the precedent being set. Elon agreed to buy Twitter. He agreed to buy Twitter with no conditions whatsoever. And then he backed out. He's screwed. He's so screwed. It's going to cost him a lot of money. In best case scenario, he walks just paying $1 billion fine. Worst case scenario, he ends up having to pay almost the full amount and doesn't get Twitter as a result. He ends up paying almost as much as the $44 billion that he agreed to buy the company for and then doesn't get the company. Which I think is a pretty good chance that might happen. Either way, he's losing. He's not going to come out on top of this. Bobby Norwood, 1348 Emma crossover, doing lovely for entries and exits for less manipulated plays. I've been using options for less than a week, and I'm printing daily. Cool, good for you, man. Dog Toggler. If what you said holds true, then you could sell for full price after data record and then get 75 back on XDV date. Yep. So, if you sell on the 19th for 130, and you get your dividends because you were on the data record on the 18th. There's no caveat that says you must be holding on the 22nd to receive your dividends. Then you just buy back in on the 22nd when the price drops by 75%. Double what you would have at the beginning. And that's exactly true. Yep. Okay. I am an hour behind in the chat. That's how it happens. Okay. Lawrence, hey Houston, do you have hopes in Be Big if TikTok gets banned? I mean, does Be Big have a similar platform for short form video? I have no idea. So I know you disappeared from Twitter. I'm in Twitter jail. I told a bunch of people who are upset that the South lost the war that we should kill all Confederates, and then Twitter said that I made hate speech towards target hate speech towards a protected group. I didn't realize that Confederates who lived 150 years ago were a protected group, but whatever. So tomorrow I get to be back on Twitter doing my Twitter thing. Okay. Now everyone's yelling at me for not knowing that the marketplace went live right before my show came on. Okay. All right. Dana, Houston, love when you spank ignorant BS on your show. It's refreshing. What's your thoughts on overstock Tesla comparisons to what ensue with GME split, slow burn, or Cape Canaveral? Oh, man. If we get a slow burn, and that slow burn takes us to a certain price point, I think then it's Cape Canaveral. Right now, if GME gets to $1,000 a share, right, that puts the market cap at, $70 billion? Something like that? $76 billion? That's ridiculous. Now imagine it gets to $1,000 a share with the 300 million shares. We're at $300 billion. We are in this market cap is so insane, it's unsustainable for anybody territory. And that's going to trigger margin calls, I think. And likely liquidations, because no one's going to be able to come up with enough cash to make up for how underwater they are on these plays. The thing is that we don't know who's actually holding that debt at this point because of the nature of these swaps. So it could be, a 0.72 sold naked, got to the T35 date, and they swapped with some Brazilian hedge fund, and it's some offshore hedge fund that the SEC can't touch, that is the one that's underwater on this all of a sudden. And would they be able to come up with enough cash with the Brazilian government, be like, hey, you got to liquidate you and figure this out? I don't know. I honestly don't know. So we may see a slow burn to a ridiculous price happen, but if that price gets to a certain level, it would be so high that nobody would be able to come up with liquidity to meet their margin, and that may set it off. So hopefully slow burn to the rocket that takes off. Flight Guy 99, Houston, could the U.S. see a run on banks like China? No. We insure all of our deposits. When a bank goes under, the FDIC quickly seizes it and then sells all the assets to another bank, while basically holding on to that floating dog hair getting in my mouth. Dude, dog, you suck. There it is. And then sells all the good assets to another bank, and then they keep going from there. So people don't lose access to their money like they do in China. Also, we can print whenever we want, and China seems to not be doing. China has that ability too. China can print their yuan whenever they want, and they just don't seem to be doing that. And they're still their currency is losing value, which is great if you want to make your products there right now, but because of lockdowns and supply chain issues, you might not get your products out of there. So it's cheap to make stuff there, you just might not get it. Okay. Eric Chan, Houston has something against Elon. Elon is playing chess while Twitter is playing checkers. Watch Elon buy them at a lower price. Elon isn't buying shit, Eric. Elon's going to lose a fortune on this. Elon doesn't play checkers or play chess. Elon lies to people, gets them to go, oh boy, and then pumps a bunch of stock or a bunch of crypto, and then fails to deliver. Or what he does deliver is kind of not what he promised at all. He's a flim-flam man who just happened to, have a really rich dad who invested in his first company and has just been like lucking out on that ever since. Elon makes really crappy cars. His boring company is not making any Hyperloop stuff like he promised. He's not going to produce an Android like he said he was. His brain implant just basically was a torture experiment on a bunch of monkeys. He never delivered the respirators he promised. He's a flim-flam artist. And a lot of people, for some reason, think he's just the greatest dude in the entire world, and they're just being lied to constantly by Elon. He's just not that good a dude. He isn't. He's a pretty bad person. And no, he's not going to end up with Twitter. He's going to get sued by them for a lot of money and lose. He does not have a legal crutch to stand on here. And he's already lost $100 billion since April. So, yeah, a lot of his plays were being used by borrowing against his wealth. And that wealth might be getting margin called. Which, it'll be interesting to see how Elon comes out of this coming market collapse, because other companies are producing really good electric cars. They got better supply chains, they've got better production quality, they have better service centers and customer service. it'll be interesting to see how Tesla comes out of this, because he's really put off a lot of people recently with his far right, placating of the far right all of a sudden. And the people who buy electric cars don't fuck with that. So he's basically like told everyone who is his customer base for his cars, he's like, screw you, I hate you. And they're like, well, I'm going to go buy a Ford Mach-E, or I'm going to go buy a Audi or a Ioniq 5 or whatever. They're going to get something else. They'll be cheaper and probably cooler and updated models. I mean, Elon has never updated a model. They're the same cars they were 10 years ago. And when he promises new models, they misses the mark by 3 years. It's pretty desperate indeed. Okay. Will Manduano? Houston, where did Elon touch you? I've watched so many of your shows. Something about Elon really gets your blood flowing. It's kind of weird. Still love the show. Elon is a liar. He's a complete lying sociopath. That's my problem. Is that he overthrew the Bolivian government to get access to lithium. He was already manipulating countries on a scale that is just unconscionable. His factories are constantly getting sued by governments, individuals for being really racist, sexist, homophobic. He moves operations from California to Texas to avoid paying taxes, and that has resulted in what? The further degradation of the electrical systems in Texas. So Elon can't even have like factories running all the time because there's constant brownouts because whenever it gets hot or cold. He makes really poor products that are among the worst in problems per 100 vehicles. Cars brick, the doors you can't open if the battery shuts down. So if you get caught in a fire in your car, you can't open the door without like ripping off the door panels and figuring out exactly where some little cable is you have to pull. He turned off. So if you're auto driving in your Tesla and the Tesla's about to hit something, a millisecond before it hits something, it turns off autopilot, so they blame the driver. Like, he does lots of shitty little things like that. He promised a Hyperloop. These vacuum tubes take people across the country in 40 minutes. And the Hyperloop has turned into, you can drive your electric car at 25 miles an hour through an incredibly dangerous tunnel with no egress or fire suppression. This is not the solutions to stuff. He's just a flim-flam liar man. So yeah. He's not a good dude. He does not have your best interest at heart at all. He basically is just like a liar. That's the problem. Okay. All right, Dana, not gonna lie, I'm seriously considering pulling out tens of thousands from my RRSP to throw at GME before split. It's looking even better than when DFV YOLO'd. Might be pretty good. Might be pretty good indeed. I'm really curious to see what type of shorting they do the week after the price adjusts. I bet they're going to try and short it really hard that week and get the price down like to $10 or something before they start to get forced to buy things. That's what I would look at. Okay. Brandon T, good morning, Houston. These rich people don't really want to give us money, do they? They don't. They really should, but they don't. They don't at all. All right. Okay. All right. Oh, and there goes the chat reset. Where am I? Oh, I just lost. Well, when the chat resets, when I scroll down too far, all of a sudden it makes me lose like 20 minutes to chat, which gets me caught up a little bit. So now I'm only 50 minutes behind. Okay. Mike S. Houston, it's a 72,000 square foot castle referred to as Pensmore. Interesting to read about if you Google it sometime. So that's the one that was in Missouri. All right, 72,000 square foot. That's ridiculous. That's like, you have like 10 basketball courts or something. Mr. Palma, if when GME, AMC, etc. squeeze, what do you think the overall market will do? Crash ridiculously hard. Because the only way they can pay us is if they sell off everything that they have. Everything they have is the rest of the market. So if it's not a meme stock, if it's not something that's been incredibly shorted by these hedge funds, it's going to lose value because the market's going to be flooded with it, and people won't have the cash to buy. We will eventually when they pay us, so we'll be the ones gobbling it all up. But it's going to be a huge imbalance for a while. Jay's 22B Houston, are you watching the charts on AMC for the technical breakout that's ready? No. What's happening? Let's look at yield AMC. Nothing interesting happening there. The 1 month. Well, we're getting the happening. Still way down on the year, so we need AMC to do some big pickups. I'm very curious to see if Paramount or Disney buy AMC in August. There might be a bidding war if that's the case, and if that's the case, the agreed buying price for AMC might be like $30-$40. Which is more than what people have, like the price now, but probably less than a lot of people invested in a year ago. I'm wondering if the AMC price can get bolstered to that $30-$40 level by August, before there's a bidding war between Paramount and Disney, then we might be looking at a lot of shares. But it would essentially remove AMC as a meme stock play at this point. There might be weird things that happen when the buyout happens and people's shares disappear and get replaced with cash. I'll be wondering who's going to get drained having to pay for all that. That'd be interesting. All right. Okay. Sitting Bull, Houston, I'm expecting RC to drop some news after hours, likely an SEC filing. Let's see it. Bone says, Houston recently learned that USDA organic is not actually organic. Real organic podcasts, interesting interviews, worth watch, listen. What makes them not real organic? Are they just using pesticides and herbicides and stuff that they aren't supposed to? If it's organic, I don't know. Man's meant to live on the land. Julius says off the land. Unpaid overtime, you speed garden slave too. Oh man, I just, like, my childhood was so much backbreaking labor keeping that giant, like, 4-acre garden going that I just don't do it anymore. I let somebody else do it. And I have, like, friends that have, like, totally, like, oh, I love gardening now because now they've, like, got old as shit as me. And I'm like, good for you. I'll eat whatever you grow, but I'm not growing it. Okay. David Z came in my yard without getting poison oaked. Bones, plant fruit trees. Exactly. My orchard, I love my orchard. And we are maybe a week from dad plums. Oh, the best plums in the entire world are the red plums on my dad's tree. They are just, and I cannot wait. It'll be just like 7 days of me shitting my brains out because I'll be eating 50 plums a day. And it's my favorite food. I think fresh dad plums are my favorite food in the entire world. And I look forward to it every year. I'm like salivating just thinking about it right now. They're so good. Oh man. Like years ago, my friends Eric and Kat, the ones I visit in Switzerland, they were here visiting. This is like 2015 maybe. And the tree, when it's full of the plums, it's like weighted down. It looks like a weeping willow. Like the branches all the way down the ground. So you're like inside this little tunnel, this little tent of tree, picking off plums. And anyone who walked by would have thought an orgy was going on under that tree because of all the groans and like, oh God, oh, so good happening because they're just so tasty. Oh, 1 week, maybe 1 week. The plums are ripening a little slow this year because it's been kind of a cold spring, but man, they're there. They're green. They're going to turn purple soon. Sad Boy Incorporated, Houston, food for thought. If a fetus has the same right as an adult female, then pregnant women can be imprisoned due to imprisoning an innocent person. Yeah, it's, I think, did you guys read about the lady in Dallas who got pulled over for driving alone in the HOV lane, but she argued that she's pregnant, and since Texas considers that a full-blown human being, that she actually is driving with two people in the car, and so she's, what are you going to do, Texas? Are you going to admit that it isn't a person, or are you going to admit that it is a person and let the pregnant ladies... And if you do that, that opens up the ability for women to take out life insurance policies on their fetuses. It allows them to, claim them as dependents on their taxes for that year. It allows them to, collect Social Security, whatever. So the U.S. government, on a bureaucratic level, does not consider a child inside the belly to be a human being. But if individual states do, what does that mean? So, like, let's say you're a woman, you're pregnant, you're in a red state, you take out a life insurance policy on that fetus, right? And make it a $10 million policy. Because it's a person, it's entitled to life insurance. And then you travel to a red state and you get an abortion. You come back, collect on your insurance policy. It wasn't a murder because it was legal in that state, but in your state, the baby's not there anymore, therefore you get to collect on your insurance policy. You could really incentivize getting abortions. Yeah. But yeah, false imprisonment, would that be make pregnancy illegal all of a sudden because you falsely imprisoned a human being? I don't know. It makes all sorts of weird loopholes in the law. Okay. David Z, if you mention how Trump slammed Elon Musk, I will smash the like. Yeah, Trump is really upset that Elon's pulling a Twitter deal because he thought it would be his way back on Twitter. Because Truth Social is dying like anything else, and Trump was trying to find a buyer, and I guess the buyer pulled out. Oops. What is DWAC doing right now? I haven't looked at that in a while either. DWAC. DWAC's down to 28. So it's kind of holding flat. For something that peaked at 97 close in March of this year, it's down to $28 now. So it's been getting hit hard. Yeah. Okay. All right. Jimmy's paying for all my meals currently. Okay. Scrolling. Dr. Matthew Fleury. Hi, Houston. Thanks for doing the show. Can you talk about the outlook for HYG, please? HYG, that's the junk bond ETF. It's going to keep going down. As the market drips, it dips as well. It plays like the SPY. So it was something that was pretty steady at like $88 this time last year. It would not budge. You know what the market did? It really wasn't budging. But since the market has dropped 30-40% since the beginning of the year, HYG is dropping as well. I wish I had bought some long-term puts on that sucker because you could have bought them pretty cheap. It was really steady for so long, so there wasn't much volatility. You could have made probably $1,000 in each one of those things after buying them for $10 each. But I didn't do it. But HYG is gonna, as long as the market goes down, it's gonna keep going down. Okay. Fast like a bear fitness. Look up Renaissance periodization. Mike Israetel, PhD. He's like a bodybuilder version of you. Okay. Mike Israetel, Renaissance periodization. All right. WTF videos. Great tip. Always fight gravity in every exercise. Slow on the eccentric, fast on the concentric. Yes. Ah! That's how you just get freakishly strong. To the point where you can take a full keg and take it lift over your head and you just feel just freakishly strong at all times. I remember when I was last buff, my brother was remodeling his cabin, and we had to it's a log cabin, we had to move some logs around, and I could just throw these giant logs and just look on his face. He's like, how did you do that? I go lift heavy things all day long to get buff for a TV show that isn't happening. Okay. Bones. All brokers have share count that's tracked at the DTC, and dividends will be issued to cover that number. The dividend shares are real regardless of what's held by the broker. Yep. David, well, Pectoris Major. Thank you. Pectoris Major. Pities. Okay. Now I'm saying check out Athlean X on YouTube. More. Gotta go. Take magnesium for muscle relaxation. Oh, we're getting all the buff things in here. You want muscles go into jackhammer. Well, those fat guys, they just stick it under their belly and just the belly does all the work. And those are the best jackhammer guys. James Cam, Houston home gym post MOAS. If I have a home gym, I'm not going to do it. I learned that lesson. I got to go somewhere just specifically to go work out. Otherwise, it's not going to happen. I won't ride an exercise bike at home. I won't do any of the home gym stuff. I got to have a location, specifically go and just carve out the time and go and do it. Because if I'm there, I'm going to do it. If I'm at home, I'm going to be like, I'll get to it tonight. And then it gets to tonight, I'm like, I'll do it tomorrow morning. And then it gets tomorrow morning, I'm like, I'll do it later tonight. And then it just keeps progressing forever. Everyone's Bowflex just becomes a coat rack at some point. I need a location to go to. James Cam Houston, why don't you mint some NFTs on Jimmy Marketplace and give them away live? Sure. I don't have any artistic ability, so that is an issue. I can't draw or do 3D rendering, or I could make some really crappy paint drawings and have those be NFTs. Houston's childlike art via MS Paint. NFT. Post. 50 Ethereum. Okay. David Z, I've seen Captain America gym nuts have zero strength when it comes to moving furniture. My friend Mike, he owns a kung fu studio in Seattle. He's not a very big dude. He's 5'9", extremely fit though, because he's a kung fu, wizard. He was trying to get like movie star buff, and he went to the gym, and he's telling me a story about there's this giant man, he's benching 400 pounds, screaming as everyone's like, yeah, woo, yeah, and they're spotting him or whatever, and then this tiny guy is even smaller than Mike came in, laid down, did 30 reps at 400 pounds and then left. Mike was like, who the hell is that? Turns out it was an Olympic level gymnast. And he's like, I want that kind of strength. Dude did not look huge, but his tendons were like a chimpanzee. And tendon strength is true strength. You have tendons that can handle it, you can rip people's arms out of the sockets like a monkey. And that's, you gotta train those tendons, man. So you can get big, puffy, inflated, super strong, or you can be the lean guy who's just as strong and can do so many more sets because they're actually in shape. Yeah. Houston needs to eat more bananas for muscle soreness. Get the potassium. for that. Okay. Okay. So Bass the boss said the big dog seems like he needs a lot of attention. He always needs attention. He just needs attention at all times. He wants to like constantly just climb inside a person and just be ensconced in them. But it's just too warm to do that right now. It's warm out. Like my office right now is becoming a little inhabitable. Alright. Fast like a bear fitness. I'm not a GME bear, but man, I'm not hyped at all for this. I was utility or either somehow having them work with games, but I know they need publishers on board. That they do. Got to release the marketplace first, and once they show that the publishers can make money again and again and again off these games, then I think that they might be on board. GME's almost at 132. Where are we at right now? We're getting close to the final hour of aftermarket. GME's floating at 131 right now, so bumped to 132, but sticking at 131 for now. Maybe we'll have a little more green tomorrow. Okay. And is now you're going to watch the James Webb Telescope image release live. When is the James Webb Telescope JWST image release? Okay. CNN says Biden will share the first image from the telescope today. 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So it's happened already. Where is it? Where is it? Where's my image? Where's my image? 5:30 Eastern Time was 30 minutes ago. Where's my image? Images. Oh! What are you barking at? What? There's no one here. There's nobody. There's nothing going on. Alright, James Webb image. NASA releases sharp images from James Webb Space Telescope. Okay. Oh, you guys can't see what I'm doing. I'm on TMZ, which seems like a really weird website to be looking at for teaser images of James Webb Space Telescope. Shockingly clear. This is sometime yesterday morning. This is not clear images. They still have a lot of spikes on there. Okay. All right. Give me first light of James Webb Space Telescope, for crying out loud. How to watch. Be on the agency's new YouTube channel. Coming up. Can I fast forward? Don't let me fast forward at all. Show me the images. Show it to me. I want to get past. There we go. That's volume. That's not. Well, let that play in the background, and maybe something will happen. Okay. Okay. Fast like a bear says add 13.3 billion to GameStop current market cap. It's it's replacing OpenSea. No one's gonna use OpenSea anymore. Why would you? It's gonna cost you $50 to mint it, another 50 to 100 to post it for sale, and you can do it for pennies on the GameStop one. People are gonna come over. OpenSea is dead. OpenSea can suck these nuts. All right. So that's the boss. French girls in New Orleans too. Nanotechy Houston, can you explain why curling stones are made of such expensive granite? I know they're granite, but I didn't know if there was any specific curling stone granite. What's made of specifically? So the main source is Alyssa Craig, a small isle located off the coast of mainland Scotland. Most of the curling stones used in the Olympics and the Paralympics have come from Isla Craig, Cays of Scotland, as exclusive rights to harvest granite from there. Okay. I wonder what the first curling stone is made of, because curling was invented apparently like in Davos, I believe. So they were using stones from not from Scotland. So extracted from a particular quarry. It's blue hone granite. You got tiny molecular structure. It doesn't erode much from being dragged across the ice. So apparently having tiny little particles and not being too crystallized is what makes it really good. All right, that's the reason why. It's a very tiny island, not very big at all. Huh. All right, well that's the reason why. I'm sure you can find similar granites that aren't in such a hard location. My guess is it makes it so expensive because it's a little island without any like anything on it. Oh, you guys can't see what I'm looking at. Dang it! I always forget to do that. So anyway, this is Craig here, and it's a tiny little island off the coast of Scotland, and it's an ancient volcanic structure. The granite inside probably cooled relatively quickly without outgassing, so that the molecules inside are smaller than if they had been slowly cooled. This looks like columnar basalt, which would not suggest granite at all. So I don't know how that formed. But yeah, there's like one little spot where it looks like you can get a boat in, and everything else is just a pain in the ass. That's probably why it's expensive, just from where it comes from. And yeah, lots of bird poop there probably. All right, cool. That's why. Meow meow. Did you know the horror of Alien was to show the men the terror of childbirth? Ironic with the male desire to dominate female production rights. I mean, yeah, if you got something bursting out of your chest, whether you wanted it there or not, you gotta, under Texas law, you have to carry a xenomorph to term. Doesn't matter about the protection of the life of the father or not. Okay, it's curling stones. Ace Ventura, bought so many when it dropped to 85 I nearly got divorced. But you did the right thing. You got it for a screaming deal, and now it's 60% higher than it was, so not too shabby. Scott Pullen, Ace. One share of Coca-Cola from investor Pat during the Great Depression, split adjusted, worth $10 million, generated approximately $250,000 in dividends. Yeah, my dad, or say my granddad, had a similar story. So my granddad was maybe 10 years old in rural Georgia when a door-to-door salesman came trying to get his father to buy Ford stock for 10 cents each. And, no one there had ever seen a car or even heard of one. And he's like, why on earth would I buy stock in this thing I've never seen a car. And today, my dad and I, when I was in high school, had done the math. Each one of those 10-cent stocks was worth like $600,000 then. So, probably multiply it by 20 now. Is probably where each share of that 10-cent stock would be today. Yeah. I mean, if you bought, 10th of September, 2001, bought Apple stock at 25 cents, you'd be worth a fortune right now. So there's always those coulda, woulda, shouldas that happen. Bullish on Houston Tech intro. Hey HW, thought I caught a live show. Just came on. If you were a short hedge fund, how worried would you be with all these announcements coming from GME? Worried. I mean, their idea was they're going to eliminate this company from existence, and all their bets were on destroying it, and it was working. They got a company that made $6 billion a year down to $200 million market cap before it rebounded. And the only reason it rebounded was because a bunch of nerds on the internet were like, you know what, seems like a good deal. And like a hive mind went in and gobbled it all up, pushing the price well beyond what was ever suspected. They figured they're going to get GameStop to miss their bond payments. They're going to have to declare bankruptcy. The stock would go to the pink sheets and be worthless, and they would win. And we defeated that. So now everything they're doing is an attempt to survive. And they're trying to survive in an environment where GameStop is thriving, and they're not. All these hedge funds are down like 40% on the year. They are just absolutely screwed. And GameStop is possibly increasing their market cap by $13 billion by dominating what OpenSea had before in the NFT marketplace. NFTs in general are, I think, like the picture NFTs are going to move out of favor. But the practical use of NFTs for selling things that actually matter, like in-game content and games themselves, that's going to hold true, and this marketplace is going to be able to do that. So, if GameStop were to take on game development themselves and develop a couple of games that could show people how this process can be used, and if you can get consoles to hook up to it, the next version of the PlayStation or whatever to hook up to the GameStop marketplace, and you can get your games through there, that would be a big win. Big win indeed. $40 Oracle Houston. At what point do you think it would be nonsensical to buy a car with an internal combustion engine? The minute solid state capacitors come out, supercapacitors, solid state batteries, the minute those come out, there's no need for internal combustion engines anymore, because they'll get greater distance out of these things. They'll charge faster. They can fill up the car at the gas station, and that'll be that. Right now, if you are a soccer mom or somebody who never goes on road trips and you just putter around town all day, an electric car is perfect, because you will never run out of juice, because you never go more than like 30 miles on a trip. But if you're somebody who does longer distances, you got a long commute, or you've got to travel a lot for work, you got to go off road, you got to do any of these things, the energy storage in gasoline, being able to take you further distances, is going to be way more beneficial. But if you get to the point where you've got these solid state supercapacitors that allow you to have 10 times the power per kilogram as a lithium battery, and they can charge in 60 seconds. So you can all of a sudden take a car. Which one is it the Lucid that has like the greatest range of a normal shaped car? It's like 500 miles for an electric car. It's pretty decent. It's as much as a gasoline power car is for distance. But you can multiply that sucker by 10, and you get 5,000 miles per charge. Can you imagine getting an electric car and not having to charge once, driving back and forth across the United States? That would be ridiculous. And then when you did charge it, it took 60 seconds. That is when internal combustion engines will be a thing of the past. Being able to reduce the charge time would free up space at all these charging ports, all these high-speed charging ports that right now the car's got to sit there for 4 hours or whatever. It takes up a lot of space. If they're in there for a minute, you can move, 200 cars in that same amount of time as one car would need to charge. So that's when we're going to see the internal combustion engine finally fail. And then all these ships, these sea ships, will have these capacitors as well. The capacitors get made from aluminum and graphene. Easy, just carbon and aluminum. We've got plenty of that. We don't have to do lithium, toxic lithium. We don't have to do cobalt. We don't do anything else. It's literally just graphene and aluminum just lined up in a little battery, and you can link them all together in parallel or series or however you want to do it. And Big Dog agrees, right? You just agree, Big Dog. You're very agreeable. He also just burped at me. Okay. Okay, I got like 9 minutes left, and I gotta go to the gym. $40 Oracle. My coworker bought 1.5 shares approximately 6 months ago because of my rants. He got tired of waiting and sold the day before they announced the dividend. Oops. Okay. John Donson, Houston. Any thoughts on Sears Holding? Apparently they've changed venues, I guess. Get It Got had something about that the other day. Dude, get your... Stop breathing on me. Your face is just so warm, and this room is very warm as well. SHLDQ. Still at 16 cents, holding strong. Yeah, I thought they were moving to mediation, but apparently they're changing courts because that judge who was working with them for however long is now retiring. So nothing new from that. I'm just sitting and waiting. Sit and wait. That's the story of our life. Just sit and wait. Sit and wait. Sit and wait. Wheat Wild. So if Elon ends up paying a lot, will there be a dividend for Twitter? Should I maybe buy some shares or call 6 to 9 months out? The court case. So the type of court that they're going through in Delaware usually renders a verdict inside of a year. It's a very fast court compared to other courts. It's not one of those things that just gets drawn on for years and years and years. It's something that moves very quickly. So maybe a year out, 9 months to a year out might actually be the thing. Apparently, Twitter is planning on filing either end of this week or start of next week. Have everything ready and filing then. So we should be able to see exactly what their arguments are. Elon's arguments are going to be, but you didn't tell me about the bots. And then their argument's going to be, but you signed away the right to know about the bots. So that's what's going to be. Okay. Oh, and there's that reset again. Where are we? Okay. Well, I'm fairly caught up at the moment. So, Scott Paul and everyone in the chat, look up Buy, Borrow, Die. It's a known and effective strategy for mass wealth management and for continued wealth after windfalls. Get a lawyer and a second one to watch the first. Okay. All right, look up Buy, Borrow, Die. Project Sunny should think about a different way than saying you're eating your dad's plums. Well, that's what I'm doing. I'm eating my dad's plums. They're delicious. I recommend everybody eat my dad's plums. Just stuff them in your mouth and just make all sorts of just lovely sounds of just how delicious my dad's plums are. Because they're amazing. Every single person in America should have the opportunity to eat my dad's plums. That's what I'm saying. Okay. Ace Ventura, if you have sex with a pregnant woman, is that indecent exposure to a minor? It's that old joke. Woman gives birth, the child comes crawling across the floor and climbs up the dad and goes, "How do you think that feels?" Okay. B2B Brown Taco Bell, big mistake. $13 and the sauce packets they gave me way more than the food. Big dog. What is it you want? What is it you want to know? Yes. Gave me 32 packets of sauce. They did that to my friend Quentin when she was in the hospital. She got Taco Bell delivered, and they gave her like an entire bag of sauce packets. Oh, I missed a Black Udon one. Sorry. What is your opinion on the Hyundai Ioniq 5? I think they're cool looking. They've got medium range for electric car. But they are you know, they're on the cheaper end for electric cars, but still pretty pricey. I think they're cool looking. If you guys haven't seen what one looks like, Ioniq 5. Go there. These guys, I don't know. I think they're pretty snazzy. I've seen a couple of them around the island. They got a very space age look on the inside. But you know, they look kind of like a hot hatch, a little bit bigger, maybe like almost like crossover SUV size. But I think they're cool looking. I dig it. Yeah, the inside is very what do we call it, Demolition Man looking. And I'm sure they'll come out with like performance versions for these as well. But I think they're cool. I dig it. So most electric cars, the problems they're having are not necessarily in the drive system, but in the information systems. Is everything's so integrated, you have problems with people knowing how they work, and software bugs making it so like the doors don't open, or in the case of a guy that, a guy who wrote some Star Wars movies. He made a tweet the other day about how he was like hanging out in a parking lot and had Netflix on, so it was in theater mode, and the theater mode wouldn't turn off, and so he couldn't actually start the car. So he was stuck in the parking lot because his car wouldn't leave theater mode. And Tesla got rid of the hard reboot, which apparently was you have to like hold the button, the horn for a certain amount of time, and then the car resets. But they got rid of it because people stuck in traffic were just laying on the horn, resetting their car constantly in traffic. So they got rid of the hard reset. So there was no way to like go back to just factory settings if your car freezes in theater mode. So yeah, these information systems are so integrated in everything. They control the doors and everything else that you can get screwed. And that's where a lot of the problems electric cars are coming from. Just getting through the dad plum section here. Okay. Oh, start party started. Oh, they are doing it. Okay. So I'm seeing it here. They're showing the Earth. But not the picture itself. I'll keep my eye on this one, going in the corner here. So far, it's just the Earth. Make it big. There we go. Make it big. All right. It's just the Earth. It says the Earth and the space station. Okay, that's not at all James Webb Space Telescope. Wheat Wild, if we know GME price is going to drop by 70%, why not load up on puts for 22nd of July? Usually puts are 12 cents. I've wondered about that as well. Like, will the price of the puts quarter as well? Or do they stay the same? I got really screwed when Spurt and Greed did that merger. I think I had Spurt calls that turned into Greed calls, and all of a sudden they're worth a penny and they never changed at all. So I don't know if you'll get screwed on those or not. If it'll be for like a quarter of the price but 4 times as many. I don't know. Might be worth a gamble though. Joe Wickman, how much can you bench, Houston? Not much right now. My goal is to probably get 250 to 300. I don't know. I'm an old guy now. We'll see how far I can get there. But I'm not even close to that right now. I might be able to do like 150. I can pull way more than I can push. I'm a hugger. That's what I am. I can pull a ridiculous amount for my body size. I can't push an equal amount. Okay. Alerex 1987, some may be stupid questions. What would happen to NACT shorts if AMC if Disney or whoever buys AMC, and would the legal shares be absorbed by the buying company, or would it be its own stock? My guess is if someone like Disney or Paramount bought AMC, AMC shares either would become cash or be converted into that parent company. So they might say, well, we're going to pay $40 a share, or we do a merger and the shares will, become a part of this company. My guess is one or the other. So if you were short on AMC, you might now be short on Disney at 4 times the price or 10 times the price or whatever Disney's trading at right now. That might be a bit gnarly. Kelly Reed, Hedberth Houston, was wondering about your opinion on going long on water because of rising temperatures and droughts occurring. There's a lot of utility companies that have been doing that across the United States. Water utilities, like 60% of water utilities are privately owned. So that, I don't know what they're doing in the James Webb thing right now. I'm getting distracted. They're just like doing this. There's a lot of companies that are doing that very thing right now. I personally believe that water should be a public thing. Like public utilities should control it. The people that live there should control their water resources. And they're just going bonkers. They're not showing anything. It's just like one long NASA commercial. Okay. Eric Chan will make a gentleman's bet of $100 that Elon will buy Twitter at a lower price. I'll honor my bet if he doesn't, and I'll take your word for it. Eric Chan, that is a bet. Elon ain't buying shit. He's going to pay a fortune for not buying Twitter. That's what's going to happen. Okay. NASA confirms oceans on other planets. Is that what the thing did? Dang it, I missed it. Because it's still just doing like a NASA commercial, not showing me dip doodle anything going on. Just a whole bunch of like cool images of NASA stuff and things being built and tested and whatever else. Okay, where are we at time wise? Oh, we're at 3:35. I gotta go to the gym. I take these dogs for a walk and then go get Buff. Anything down here at the bottom? Ford Lightning again at 500-mile range would be sweet, pretty sweet. Yep. Truth Seeker Cybertruck lost my order. I'm done buying anything from Elon. And we were a family of Teslas. Cybertruck was supposed to be out 22 months ago. Yep, and the one that they have out, the build quality looks so terrible. The panels don't line up. It looks pretty bad. Yeah. Okay. All right, dogs. You guys ready for your walk? They are. It's just, I just have NASA commercials going. I totally missed the picture. I feel terrible. I think it's just this, like, filler happening afterwards. Just, you know, Singapore Airlines planes flying around. That's not at all the pictures I wanted. I'll have to go on the internet and look that up. But anyway, I'll see you guys on Wednesday. I might have Radic 22 back on Wednesday if I'm not going to Canada. If I'm going to Canada, then there might not be a show on Wednesday. I haven't heard yet. Waiting to find out. But yes. Anyway, one of these guys. I'll see you guys. Wah!